I'm failing. The downfall of my nano, I don't think that's good. Hi, welcome back to my channel. My name is Diamond and you're watching a writing vlog. This is the third week of Nano and I'm failing. I'm failing Nano. Throw Nano away. We're no longer doing NaNowriMo because I'm failing. Okay, so let's talk about the downfall of my Nano month. Originally my goal was to complete the first act, the beginning of this story. So I wanted to do the hook, setup, inciting incident, fear-based decision, and pinch point. I had a really slow start. I only wrote 1,800 words in 3 days, and the second week I barely wrote anything. And so I was like, okay, I need to adjust my goals. Cool. I adjusted my goal to just getting up until the inciting incident. So I wanted to do the hook, setup, and inciting incident. I completed the hook. I have that down. I'm still in setup, guys. I'm still in setup. The last time I left off, I had finished writing. I had about 2,564 words in 2 weeks. You know, I don't think, 2,500 words in 2 weeks. I don't think that's good, right? Currently, it is, like I said, it's the third week of Nano, and currently we're at 4,625 words. It's November 15th, so it's Wednesday. I wrote an additional 2,000 words over the weekend, basically. I'm not going to. So I need to rethink. I need to replan, and I need to just adjust my goals. Now, I will say this has been one of the busiest months for my job, for working. So that kind of contributes to it. You know, I don't have the bandwidth to work on it as much as I want to right now. But I know that moving into the end of the year, into the new year, we're gonna slow down a lot. So I'm looking forward to that. So let's talk about some of my new goals, okay? I think I'm almost at 5,000 words right now. I think I can really push myself to write the remaining 5,000 words for the end of this month to end Nano with 10,000 words. And you know, I'm not too sad about failing Nano. I mean, it is my first ever Nano. It's my first ever novel, first time drafting, and I'm in the 0 draft. So I'm not like terribly sad about failing Nano. 1, because it's my first time doing, and 2, because it's a really busy time for my job right now. Holidays are always busy. Like I said, I work in influencer marketing at a talent agency, so right now brands are like pumping out the partnerships for the holidays. So I get that, you know, maybe this was not, I can see now that this was not the best month to kind of set a base of what I can realistically write in a month, because this is not a normal work month. Usually we're not this busy, and I just didn't take into account for that. I didn't know how hard it would be. So I'm not being too hard on myself. I'm still writing the story. I'm still excited that I'm getting, you know, the first words out. I have almost 5,000 words of the story. Super cool to me. And I'm saying this because I want to finish with this first 0 draft by April, which would be from November to April, 6 months, right? And I think that's a good time frame for me to get this 0 draft done. I do get 3 weeks off from December to January, so I'm assuming I'll be able to write a lot then. And then, like I said, January, the beginning of the year, is a little bit slower as brands have exhausted their budget for Q4, and Q1 is always slower. So I'm setting a goal of 6 months by April to be finished with this 0 draft, and I think it's doable. Going into December to April, I would have to write 18,000 words a month, and divided by 4, so that's about 4,500 words a week. And I'm gonna say I'm gonna write at least 5 days a week. I'm not gonna just do 7 because that's not realistic. 5 days, that's 900 words. I absolutely feel that that's doable for the schedule that I'll have coming up. So yeah, that's the new game plan. Forget Nano. We're done with Nano. It has been a horrible Nano for my goals, but I do have clearer goals moving forward. And I think January, when I'm back to work after my break in December, I think January, February will be a truer indication of the amount that I can write, juggling work and writing. So, you know, it's all a learning experience. I also wanted to talk about the writing in general. So I have 4,600 words right now. I'm in chapter 3, so I'm still in the setup phase. Chapter 1 was the hook. I have that done. I'm still in the setup phase, and I think I mentioned this in the last vlog. I was having a hard time in chapter 2 moving forward because I felt like something was missing, and I just couldn't mentally, physically push myself forward in the story unless I knew what was missing. And I figured it out, guys. I figured out that I was missing the introspective thoughts of the other characters. So like I said, I only have one POV in this book for now, but it is written in third person limited, and I just didn't have the third person limitedness of the story. You know, it was very much, although I was writing it as a third person limited, like using the pronouns like he, she, they, the introspectiveness of it was very much first person. And so that's what was missing. It's written from the villain's POV, and she's doing villainy things, and I just realized that I needed the thoughts of the other characters while this evil person is doing things to them. So that's what was missing. I figured it out, and I'm now moving forward with the story. I've said this before, I'm writing the story that I want to write, but I'm not writing it how I want to write it, and it's messing with my brain. Like, the dialogue's not there, the world building is not there, the character development is not there. It's really just me getting the story out and just like putting the story on paper. But I can tell that all the bits that make it a really good novel is not there. They're not there yet. And I know that like I will, with like the second and third draft, I'll add those things in. But as I'm writing it, I'm kind of cringing a little bit because I'm like, this is not good. This is not good. This is not a story. I want to spend a month just working on this one chapter, and I want to do that, but I know that I cannot do that because I'll never finish the story, or I finish the story when I'm 40, and I don't want to do that. So I'm just making myself push ahead, put the story out on paper. I don't care what, I do care, but I'm making myself not care how it sounds, that things are missing, and I know that in the next round of drafting, I can add those things and I can beef it up and I can make it the story that I want to make it. So yeah, that's my updates for now. I'm not sure how much I'm gonna vlog this third week of Nano. We're already on Wednesday, so we'll see. I'll probably have to combine weeks 3 and 4 because life. Hi, so I just finished a writing sprint, and I just want to talk a little bit about the story and, you know, how I'm feeling about it so far and where it's going. Okay, so right now we're at 5,859 words, and we are in chapter 3. I want to say 3 or 4. I really need to, I'm writing this in a Google Doc, and I need to add the chapter headings, you know, like on the side, because right now I just have the chapters divided by like a, what's it called, just a horizontal line. But yeah, we are moving along. The story is moving along. I'm super excited about that. So originally I went through and I outlined each of the chapters for the first act basically. And so I had, okay, the hook, this is what happens in the hook. The setup, this is what happens. The setup will probably have like 3 chapters in it. This is what happens in each chapter. And I am so far sticking to that outline that I had, but I'm really finding that there's still new things that I'm discovering with the story. The story is like moving by itself, you know, it's like flowing freely. It's really taking shape by itself, and it makes me happy to know that even though I did do this like rigorous outline, I'm not putting myself in a box. Like, I'm not just like, my creativity is still flowing and, like, you know, just at the forefront of this very first draft. So I'm so excited about that. I'm loving how the story is coming out so far. Like, absolutely loving it. It is exactly what I think the story should be, what I wanted it to be. Even though like it's not the way I want it to be, and I'm definitely gonna have some, you know, like massive editing to do on the second draft, but the bones are here. I mean, it's only chapter 3, but the bones are here, and I'm here for it. I am here for the story and the way I'm telling it. What's really exciting to me is that I am still discovering little bits of the world, which I knew going into it, that I whatever I outlined and planned for world building, when I was doing my outlining, I knew that that wasn't all the world building there was to it, but it's still kind of really fun when I'm like writing something and I'm like, I think this is something unique to this world that I need to add in. And just doing that and having my mind lead me to really dive deeper into this world is so exciting to me. I'm here for it. One thing that I am doing, because like I said, the story itself is good, but like the way I'm writing it is not. There's a lot of things missing, world building, character arcs, and dialogue especially. There's a lot of things missing, but I'm very conscious and aware of the things that are missing. Like, I can tell that this is not good. So what I'm doing is I'm leaving a comment to myself when there's something that I know that I'm going to add in later. So I have a comment that says, I want to save this part for a later time when she meets another character. And then I have another comment like, oh, I need to mention this specific thing about her a little bit earlier in the story to kind of like tie things in and lead up into something. So I'm leaving myself little comments like that as I'm going, which is kind of making me feel a little better about just bulldozing through and like pushing through the story, because at least I know that when I go back to editing, I can kind of already see what I was thinking, and it'll help me when I do draft 2 into the editing part. But yeah, so far the creativity is flowing. I think slowly but surely, you know, I do want to hit, like I said, that 10,000 word, I was gonna say dollars, I wish, that 10,000 word goal for the end of November. Wherever that takes me in the story, that's where I want to be. And yeah, we're going, guys. We're going. I'm really happy so far with the story. Hey guys, so today is Saturday, November 25th, 2 days after Thanksgiving. And yeah, I don't remember where I last left off. I think the last time I filmed was last week. So I don't really remember the last thing I talked about in this vlog. The last time I filmed was probably like last week. So I just want to talk about where I'm at right now, how I'm feeling, and my plans moving forward since we are nearing the end of the month. We only have like 5 more days. So yeah, let's talk about it. Let's get into it, okay? So as I mentioned before, I threw all my nano plans out the window. They're gone, chucked them away. It's no longer, we're just trying to make it to 10,000 words for the end of November. And I'm excited to say that we are at 9,322 words. So 700 more to go. Totally doable with the days that we have left. So my spirits are higher. My spirits are higher now that I'm actually going to hit a goal that I set. Yeah, I'm super excited because I will be hitting my 10,000 words for the month. This was definitely just a learning experience. This nano was a learning experience, and it really helped me, even though I didn't, you know, hit the original goals that I set, and it did not go out as planned. It was actually a pretty like terrible, stressful month, especially for writing. It did teach me a lot. It did help me see that some months are gonna be like this, you know, and if I'm serious about writing the book, if I'm serious about actually finishing it and getting it published, I have to push through sometimes, you know, like I can't just say, oh, it's a busy month and I'm not gonna like write today. I have to push through. There were some days that I like sat down, I was so tired, and I had to push through and put something down on the paper, you know. Now I wasn't forcing myself to write if I truly was not in the mood, but it was really for those days where I knew that I still wanted to write something, but I wasn't like motivated to do it. I really tried to push through on those days and write something, even if it was just like a scene card, like this is what's happening in this scene. I'll put that down and I'll save it for later. Almost at the end of every chapter, every scene, I've been putting, this is what the next scene will be about, this is what the next chapter will be about. And it's really been helping me when I've had a long day and I'm trying to get back into my creative you know, like side, and I can't just like jump into just writing, looking over the note that I left myself the day before. Well, actually reading what I wrote the day before and then looking over the note that I left myself leading into the next scene or the next chapter, whichever one. It really helps me get my creativity going. So I found that helps a lot. So let's talk about the story. So far in the story, we are still in we're still in setup. We're still in a setup phase. I have, let me see. Yes, I believe I have 2 more chapters to go before we get into the inciting incident. I don't know. I have a question for you guys. Please let me know in the comments because I really need some help here. My inciting incident starts, I'm gonna like round it out and I'm gonna say that it starts in chapter 10. Is that too long for an exciting incident? Like, is that too much setup? I feel like it's not. Like, I feel like everything I have for the setup, maybe it's not chapter 10, maybe it's like chapter 7. Let's say that. My inciting incident starts in chapter 7. Is that too long to wait for an exciting incident? I feel like there's a little bit more like leeway and it's kind of okay because it is an epic high fantasy book, you know, so there is somewhat of a more setup needed, but I don't know, and I don't know, I just don't know. I don't know if that's too long. I don't feel like it is. I've been rereading the chapters and because I've been going back and forth with this, but I feel like it's enough. It's like just the perfect amount. I feel like if I take out anything, then it's not going to like flow right. I don't know. I feel like it's okay. I'm gonna keep it how it is right now and just continue pushing on with the story, but let me know in the comments like what is an ideal, I don't know. So for right now, I'm just gonna keep pushing ahead in the story. I'm super excited to get to the inciting incident because that's kind of like it's propelling the story more and it's getting like really into the meat, the juice of the story with what happens. So super excited to get there. We're almost there. 2 more chapters and we'll be there. I also did decide to add in a second POV. Yeah, so originally I was only going to have 1 POV, but it just felt like it needed another perspective. But this is another question I have for you guys, like how do you go about doing dual POVs? For me, I have my main MC, her POV is going to be the one I use most. I want to use the second POV not sparingly, but I won't be using his POV as much. I just feel like his POV will connect in to what she's doing so much more. So like I've mentioned, it is written from the villain's perspective. And so, you know, she's doing all these villainy things and she's being so evil. And I just feel like having that one POV that's kind of like seeing the evil villainy things from that perspective, it would help really get the audience, the reader to feel what I want them to feel. So I think I'm gonna add it in, but I want to know your thoughts on dual POVs, how you go about doing that, and like, do you mind if the POVs are not equal, you know, because it's gonna be really main character heavy POV and the other POV sprinkled in there, here and there when I feel like it's needed. But I definitely want to make it feel as though it's needed and it's not just like filler. So yeah, we'll see about that. What else did I want to talk about? I don't know. I do this thing where I'll just be randomly sitting on my couch and I'll be like, oh, I want to talk about that in my vlog, and I don't end up vlogging that day. I just stay on the couch, and then I get here to film, to talk to you, and I don't remember what I wanted to talk about. I really need to start like writing it down, like talk about this is what you wanted to say. So I'll try to do that, but I'm truly excited about this. I'm like over the moon that I actually have the story down. You know how it feels to like go from outlining this book and just like putting all your crazy ideas out on paper and like organizing it, and then seeing a blank piece of paper and being like, okay, now write it. Put all those things together and write it. And just going through the thoughts of like being scared, thinking, can I really do this? The page is blank. I'm only writing 100 words a day. What did I think? And now like falling into my groove and actually writing it, having the words flow. It's an amazing feeling. It's an amazing feeling. And I think just having this project to look forward to kind of, you know, incite passion into myself is something great. And I feel like everybody should do this, you know, whether you want to get published or not, whether you're just writing a story for yourself. I think having such a large goal and seeing that you're actually chipping away at the goal and getting towards achieving that, like that's the best feeling in the world, knowing that at the end of this, you're gonna look back and say, wow, I did that, you know? So super excited to just write it. Super excited to just write it. And goals are cool, but the really only true goal I have is to finish the book, and I know that I'll do that. So you guys, I'm so excited. I literally have to just like pick up the camera and tell you this. I just did 1,500 words. I just did 1,500 words. I'm literally so happy right now. I've come to you straight frizzy hair, bathrobe on. My voice sounds bad because I'm getting over a cold, but I just did 1,500 words. 1,500 words. I not only hit 10,000 words, but I'm at 11,000 all in one day. It's November 28th. Look at me. Who's not a writer? Not me. Okay, you can see right there I'm at 11,057 words and I'm over the moon. I should really get a holder for my camera, like a handheld one, because this is really heavy. I'm gonna put it down soon, but I'm gonna continue writing because I'm like in the groove. But I just wanted to put that in this vlog really quickly because I was just so upset that I wasn't really hitting any of my goals, and I hit 10,000 words in the month of November, so we can officially start December strong. But yeah, that's it. Super excited right now, and I'm gonna officially now end the vlog here. Bye.